the biggest concern you have is scoring. Like you want your offense to be better. Your power play is, it's a quarter of the season now, and it's 22nd, and obviously they've been the best power play for 5 years. How do you get it back? Do you need to see more movement? What do you need to see from your power play specifically?
Getting the puck to the slot, and that's usually with good puck movement. The more passes you can execute, you can move them around. The defensive team gets out of position, and then you kind of wear them down. That's one of them, and then the other one is just getting those shots through. And that's also being able to pass the puck around quickly makes it difficult for that. Usually it's a forward. The way our power play runs, it's a forward at the top, getting into usually Bouchard's shooting lane. The faster we move that puck around, it's more difficult to find him, identify where he's coming from, and then they'd be able to get that shot through. And if we're slow, stagnant, it's just easier to defend.
Can you touch on the momentum that your power play, even on times when it didn't score in the past, it just seemed to give you a boost, right? They create a lot of chances. There's lots of energy, and that you don't have a game this year yet with 2 power play goals, and there used to be times where your power play would win you a game sometimes. Do you notice that different, and that kind of impacts even your 5-on-5 play afterwards?
Special teams are so important, and this team with the power play has definitely been part of it. The other team, not necessarily if the power play goes bad, if it takes away energy, but it ultimately probably gives the other team energy and gives them a boost. We saw it so many times last year in the playoffs, how good our penalty kill was, and then how we play after that penalty kill. It's important. And you looked at our road trip a couple times when our power play could have came up big with momentum goals. The Toronto, for sure, could have had a 2-goal lead with a 5-minute major. Montreal, we had opportunities to take the lead. We didn't. The power play is important, and we'll obviously have a lot of faith in it, and it'll turn around. It's just we have a confidence in the 5 guys out there executing.
After last night's game, there's a couple comments made about just needing to simplify things a little bit. Do you agree with that? In your mind, what does that mean, simplifying?
I believe it is important that we simplify, because most of the game it comes down to hard work and where do you score goals. It's around the blue paint, and how do you score those? You got to go there and you have to get the puck there. And there's very few players who can score highlight reel goals, and we do have a couple players that can, and but it's even the all-stars, the best players are scoring their goals around the blue paint. As much as you look at Ovechkin and Stamkos, when they were scoring 50, 60 goals, Matthews too. Like it's what makes them special is they can score a little farther away from the net, top the circles with their wrist shot. Obviously, the one-timer that other guys don't have that tool, but ultimately, as good as they are at shooting and scoring on those shots, they're still the majority of the goals are around the blue paint. And so everyone, it's important that if you want to score regular, consistently, that we have to go there.
So starting to nurse a possibility for tomorrow, or is that
a possibility? Yes, yeah.
When you have a head injury, he said that the decision might be out of his hands. Does he have to pass certain tests, or
Absolutely. It does, and it's. The part of it is in his hands. Is how does he feel? Do you have any symptoms? If you have symptoms, then no, he wouldn't be ready. But if he doesn't have any symptoms, he reports to the doctors, and the doctors have how they have a protocol of how they handle that, and they go through those steps. And if they go through those steps and pass them all, then you're able to play. So there is a possibility that he plays tomorrow.
Do you look at that 5-game break after tomorrow? Do you look at that and go, does that weigh in saying that, okay, if he doesn't play tomorrow, then he's got a really good time to recover and kind of then go from there? Or does that play into the equation at all?
I think it's just if he's healthy. If he's healthy, then he can play. If not, then obviously he can't. We'll see how he feels.
Do you have a status on Zach Hyman and Arvidsson as well?
They will not be ready for, but like I said, both of them are, day to day now, but Saturday they won't play.
Kris, Go ahead.
A year ago at this time, this team started really taking off and turning around a slow start of the season. You had come in, you're still getting your legs under yourself at that point. But what do you remember? Can you put your finger on anything of at that time?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you? A year ago, this team really started taking off and turning around a slow start to the season. I know you had just got in, we're still finding your feet, getting your footing here with the club. But what do you remember from that time last year?
Yeah, I think I was here for, I don't know, it was 3 or maybe 4 weeks, and then, everything started to fall in place. I'm not saying it fell in place because I came in here, and it was a matter of time before the penalty kill turned itself around. Goaltending played much better. Our team defense, it was just a lot of little things. And as coaches, we're not, we have to change this and we have to have a new system, whatever system that is. And it's ultimately just getting a little bit better in all areas of games. And it's so competitive, the NHL. And you have your worst team in the NHL to your top NHL team, and any night the bottom team can beat the best team because it's tight, and you're looking for every little advantage. And whether that advantage is how do you line change? Are you guys coming off at the appropriate times? And how are you changing? Is it 3 guys coming off instead of just 1 or 2? And goal and the shots that you're giving up, are they on the perimeter? Are they from the slot? And how many odd man rushes are you giving up? And, there's a lot of things. And just because of that competition, you're just always trying to find advantages in every little thing. And, we're just trying to get better at every little thing. And, there's lots of things we can be looking at better. And you look at the stats, and you look at goal scoring is one of them. Our special teams, our goaltender save percentage. There's a lot of work cut for the coaching staff, and we're just trying to get better in all those areas.
Kris, you know what this team is capable of, and when you're going through a stretch like this, I ask you how your and your staff's approach differs in terms of maybe not giving your players too much information overload, but still finding that right balance to make sure you guys are finding that capability.
Well, absolutely. If you give all the information to the players, and information is good, but if they have so much, it's paralysis by analysis, and you have to find out what's important, what's going to make the difference, because if you focus on everything, you end up ultimately focusing on nothing. So we have to determine what's important and what's going to make the difference in the game, and hopefully we give them the right message, and it is the important stuff.
Kris, a year ago, you referenced Rob Daum as one of your coaching mentors. He's here, but what were some of the keys you got during your time playing for Rob? When you think back at the University of Alberta, or maybe transferable to the various different levels you've coached at as you've been on your journey?
I think there's a lot of lessons I learned, and one, I think treating everyone with respect, with the players, and being able to coach them up and not having to demean them to get the most out of them. I think I treated everyone with that respect. One, being organized, whether that was prepared for the opposition for a game or the practice. He was very professional. Always, we knew he was prepared, so it ultimately carried over to all the players, knowing that they have a job to perform too. And then just, detail-oriented, just knowing exactly, what was important, and getting that message across to the players and letting them play their game. So, that's just a handful of them, but I think I learned a lot. And, as you get older, when I was junior, you don't understand what a coach's role is as much. As you get older and you're in university and you're trying to, I guess, see, you're maturing, you're understanding everyone's role, whether that's within a hockey team or in a classroom, whatever it is. But, I also had much brighter eyes and was paying more attention. And, I had a lot of respect for Rob and understood what he was doing for our team.